Hey everyone, as always Jarek here, and welcome to City 17. I always wanted to say that. We're playing a Half-Life 2 mod. As you guys know, I love Half-Life, and Half-Life 2 mods are kind of comfort games for me. I know what I'm getting into when I go to play a Half-Life 2 mod, and generally I have a great time, or I know what I'm playing and I have a terrible time, but at least it's somewhat familiar to me. This time I chose this mod because it was a little unfamiliar. The gunplay looked totally different, and to be honest, looked quite good. Today we're playing Logistique. You can find this for free on Steam, the free part being a given since this is a mod, but very easy to install. This mod has me very mixed, so I'm going to do this video in a different format than usual. I'm going to talk about the good first and the bad second. Don't worry, there is a lot of bad to talk about, but there's also a lot of good to talk about, so let's get right to it. Starting with the good, graphically, it's pretty decent, actually. Now, it is a mod, so a lot of the assets are reused from Half-Life 2, that's what you should expect. However, the environments are believable. This is supposed to be an abandoned building, it feels like an abandoned building. It looks real. And I will give this mod a lot of credit for the Ravenholm-esque section towards the end of the game. When I walked into this, I thought I was going into Ravenholm. This just straight up looks like Ravenholm. It's really well done. And while tying into the graphics and aesthetic and atmosphere, the music is also fantastic as well. So production quality as far as this is concerned is actually quite great. The artist and composer obviously put a lot of love into this mod. Next we have to talk about the gunplay. This was the thing that drew my eye immediately. These weapons are different weapons and they feel totally different from Half-Life 2. You might have noticed right away that there is no HUD in this game. That's because this game is trying to go for a more tactical, real feel. You aren't a pseudo-god Gordon Freeman. You are a regular soldier. You take more damage and you die faster. You also can't tell how much ammo you have until you hold down the reload button. When you hold down the reload button, he'll pull the magazine out and tell you if the magazine is full, half full, or almost empty.
Full magazine.
Once you reload, you toss that magazine away. That part leaves me a little conflicted. I feel like you could have just put that in a pouch, like say Red Orchestra 2, and then you load it in your gun later, but whatever. I actually kind of like the system as a whole. The guns themselves also feel and sound fantastic. There is also ADS, but before you freak out and go, ADS in my Half-Life, how terrible, it actually feels pretty good. My biggest complaint about the ADS is that it's toggle, but you get adjusted to it. These weapons feel more like Rainbow Six Vegas than they do Half-Life 2, and that's a good thing. The ADS feels smooth and natural, the guns sound loud and have decent recoil. As a whole, the gunplay is really satisfying. Building a PC is not as difficult as you think it will be. People tend to make it out to be like rocket science, and it really isn't. It's like building Legos.
About half a mag.
Next, I'll talk about the story, and for a mod, the voice acting is actually pretty good. This actually surprised me. Mod voice actors are generally really bad. They don't have experience to do what they need to do, they're trying to do way too much. Generally, the voice acting ends up really cringy and taking you out of the moment. But again, surprisingly, this mod has pretty decent voice acting. But the most interesting part of this mod is who you play as. You play as one of those civilians that you saw getting beat the shit out of at the beginning of Half-Life 2. The Combine stormed your apartment, beat the crap out of you, and took your wife. The rest of the game is you trying to get your wife, Anna, back.
This building seems to have been abandoned for a while. Why'd they bring Anna to a place like this?
And I don't know why, but I find this really fascinating. Just the fact that we've seen these characters so many times, but they were just NPCs, so you didn't really think a whole lot more of that. But now it's a full-on character. Unfortunately, this is where all the good I have to say about the game ends, because most of my experience with playing this game was actually more frustrating than it was enjoyable. Why is that, you may ask? Well, let me explain it this way. The mod is a little under 2 hours long, and over an hour of that was me wandering around wondering, what the fuck do I do? Yeah, it's one of those games. One of those what the fuck do I do and where the fuck do I go games. But I've never seen a game do it in such a way. There's virtually no puzzles in this game. The closest thing this game has to a puzzle is just finding a battery to plug into something. Almost every time I got stuck, it was just because they didn't really show you where you needed to go. A lot of these issues could have been solved just by the developers putting a light near a vent where you needed to go to, or not having a roadblock to begin with. Here there is a wall in the way, and two boxes that you can't pick up or move in any way. This looks like a dead end, but you have to go way back, pick up a box, bring it all the way back over here so you can jump over this wall. Why even stop me? Why is this even here? Just let me keep walking. It legit feels like I'm not going the right way. Or hiding a hole you need to jump through underneath the mattress in a dark corner. Why bother? Just let me keep going. The gate on the other side of the hallway leads to where I'm going anyway. And these experiences are constant. This is what I meant by I get stuck so often without there even being a puzzle. While I was playing this game, I frequently had to Alt-Tab and open a walkthrough just to figure out where to go next. Let's take an example from when this game tried to add in what I would consider to be the bare minimum of a puzzle. The put a battery here to open gate puzzles. You know, the ones the modders really love to add in from Half-Life 2. I'm starting to hate these, by the way. They generally just make you scour the environment to find some obscure, stupid battery hidden in some corner. So you wander into this area. You find a gate that is closed, and you need to find an extra battery. The game establishes this is what you have to do, just go find a battery. That's perfectly fine. You can find it pretty easy, put it in, move forward. You walk through the next area, you open a door, you go through another building, you come out up top, and you need to find another battery.
A new battery. Again.
Now, video game logic would tell you that the battery would be close to the problem, but it's not. You might think it would be out on the main street in one of the cars or something. It isn't. There's even a side room here that you can open up with nothing in here but just one medkit. You figure there would be something in there, or otherwise why would you be able to open it? But nope, there's literally no point for this room to exist other than just one medkit. I thought I found the battery when I looked up and noticed that there's something hiding in a crate way above, but I shot it down and it was just ammo, not the battery. That would have been a perfect place for the battery to be hiding. I mean, it wouldn't have made any sense, why would you put it out there, but I mean, at least it requires you to do something. Where the battery actually is, requires you to backtrack to where the last battery was and beat down a bunch of crates and wooden planks to pick it up. This is not intuitive because it requires you to backtrack. And video games always tell you that the solution is near the problem. Unless the map actually circles back in on itself, you shouldn't put the battery back here. And this was the best puzzle in the game. Once again, puzzle. If this was all it was, I would be mildly annoyed, but this came after the last segment, which was the segment that really got on my nerves. Hey, you like being blinded and pushed all over the place while you try to do platforming for 40 minutes? Too bad that's what you're gonna do. This section takes up most of the game, and it's just platforming. Again, that would be kind of annoying, but it's even worse because you have no idea where the hell you're supposed to be going. You're also in an electromagnetic field, which is what all this bloom constantly popping up is, and every time that happens, the game pushes you around. So imagine trying to make all these jumps on moving platforms while you're being shoved around through the air. Yeah, it's not fun. It's just tedious, it takes time, and again, you don't generally know where to go. I spent so much of this time just trying to figure out where the game wanted me to jump to. And there were so many places I could jump to, even though I didn't have any reason to jump to them. Unfortunately, I spent most of my time in this mod in this chapter. In fact, after a while, I just said, fuck it, and no-clipped my way out of there. I didn't want to waste my time. You know what? Fuck this. I don't have time for this. This ain't not worth. Fuck you, game. It's really hard to explain how poorly implemented these sort of things are in a 10 to 20 minute long video without looking like a total baby bitch, so it's easier if you'll follow me on Twitch. Subtle plug. The next thing I want to complain about is the combat, or the lack thereof. You know how much combat is in this game? Stream was roughly 2 hours long. 10 minutes of that was combat. It's not exactly flawless combat either, to be entirely honest. I explained how the gunplay works, and I do genuinely enjoy that. The guns feel great, and they sound nice. However, the health system is not quite as elaborate. Looking at this footage, you probably have assumed that this game has regenerating health. It doesn't. Your vision will get a little more black and white as you take more damage when you get closer to death. It's really hard to tell how much damage you have taken. I never know what my health is. I actually enjoy that there's no HUD and enjoy the way they did the ammo management, but I want to see my health. But really, that's just the biggest complaint I have. You've done so much to retool how the weapon system works and how the combat works, and you just don't do anything with it. In fact, there's only 2 guns in the whole mod. You of course get your obligatory crowbar, but you get a Makarov pistol and an MP7, which for some reason still uses the big chunky world model, but is a totally different model when you pick it up. Again, I love these weapons, they feel great, I just want to use them more, and give me more of them. I'm complaining a lot because there is genuine promise in this mod. The combat is genuinely great and fun, but there's a total lack of playtesting, and the rest of it is infuriating to play. Again, I'm sure I'm going to get the comments that are something along the lines of like, oh, why are you complaining? It's a free mod, you're bitching so much. Play this mod yourself and I guarantee you, you're not going to have that opinion for very long. As I said, these things are difficult to explain in a 10 to 20 minute long video instead of someone just playing it themselves. And I just realized I forgot to wear my hat for this video. Oh well, it's fine. Actually, every once in a while I get a comment from someone that says something along the lines of, dude, that hat looks so stupid, you need to get rid of it. You don't have a common opinion. People really like that hat. In fact, you know what? Fuck you. I'm putting it on. The video just got 90% better. Unfortunately, it's basically the end of the video. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. It is a mod, so this video might be a little bit shorter than my other ones. So short that this is the end of the video. Big thanks goes out to everyone that joined me over on Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/JarekTheGamingDragon. If you subscribe, you get to see my videos ahead of time. There's also my Patreon down there in the bottom right, and my Twitter is also down there. Go check those out if you want. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.